What's going on, everyone? What's going on? Happy Tuesday. I wanted to come on. I don't know how long I plan on being on. I did okay. Sorry for the little issue. I did plan on obviously coming on and talking about this. Had some things come up. Also, I wanted to give some other people their time to speak their mind about it. But I did want to come on and discuss my thoughts about obviously the Ian Cunningham introductory press conference that happened earlier today, and the link is there in the chat for anyone who wants to jump in. Man, make sure y'all subscribe, comment, share out, especially share out. I cannot emphasize that enough. Um, and of course, if you feel so kind, you can hit up the Venmo, send a few dollars. Always greatly appreciated, and join the conversation. The link is there for y'all, so join the conversation. But I don't know how long I'm going to be on here tonight. I did plan on getting some other things done. Wanted to do some other things, but I still felt like I needed to come on and talk about this last press conference. Last press conference we're going to have to talk about for a while at least, and hopefully in this capacity. It's a very, very long time before having to talk about another one of these big introductory press conferences. But the Atlanta Falcons today did introduce Ian Cunningham officially as the general manager after announcing that he got the job after really several weeks of expectation that he would be the guy. The Falcons announced last Thursday that he would be the general manager, and he was introduced today at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, sitting alongside Matt Ryan. Also present at this press conference was head coach Kevin Stefanski, CEO Greg Beatles, owner Arthur Blank, and Josh Blank. So, first of all, just some thoughts about the press conference. Started off, man, Ian Cunningham just showing gratitude. Stated a lot throughout this press conference how thankful he was to his family, and then of course, I mean, he named off all of the organizations and the important people part of those organizations that gave him a chance. From the Ravens, he named off obviously, their people, then Philly, then Chicago. Showed a lot of gratitude. That he was able to work his way up in those organizations, those very successful organizations, and how it led him to the opportunity to be the GM of an NFL team, which is something that he has aspired to do since he was pretty young. He went into detail about growing up in Atlanta, said that his family has a brick and Centennial Olympic Park, that he doesn't know how to do the Dirty Bird dance. Still, he's been trying to figure it out for 30 years, but he still can't get it down pat, and all that good stuff. But when it got into the actual football things, which is what this is all about, you got the vibe of someone who almost in a sense, it feels like he was trying to find the perfect balance between just being reserved, but he gave, I think, a good amount of his answers a good hint at what the Atlanta Falcons are going to be, and it's kind of different than what the Falcons' approach was under Terry Fontenot. The Falcons are planning on, one of the things that Ian Cunningham said, and this was an emphasis that he put, is that the Falcons are going to draft, develop, and retain. I believe that is a quote that he said. And, that's something that, throughout the Terry Fontenot era, honestly, we really didn't see I mean, we saw the Falcons do to an extent, obviously re signing some guys. I don't think you can say the Falcons let too many major free agents walk out the door. I mean, you did have some like Fuea Luakon and, guys like that. But, I would say that during the Terry Fontenot era, the Falcons were pretty good about, re-signing important guys. But, if we're especially talking about guys that Fontenot had a part in taking, especially, from 2021 onwards, he obviously is not going to get to see that through. But, Aiden Cunningham, with where this roster currently is and the decisions that are going to have to be made about, these guys coming up on their first big contract, and there's a big decision that's going to be made, even with someone like Kyle Pitts and Tyler Algier and guys like that, and then Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Matthew Bergeron. You can really name a lot of guys. Ian Cunningham said and put a very big emphasis on the fact that the Falcons are going to look to keep their homegrown talent in building, which is honestly something that, we haven't heard from a GM in Atlanta. We haven't heard a GM explicitly say that our goal is to keep these guys around that we have developed. We're not going to let guys go to other teams that we've developed and have their best years somewhere else. We're going to keep these guys around. And that's what you have to do at the end of the day. Now, this is a very tough business, and it's hard to keep everyone around for so long. But still, you prefer at the end of the day that you're able to keep your guys around. He also touched on some, philosophy in terms of the draft. He said you can never have enough. There is no such thing as too many draft picks. He said you can never have enough draft picks. He pointed out to a situation which is relevant because the Atlanta Falcons, as it currently stands, only hold 5 draft picks in this upcoming draft. He stated that his first year in Chicago, they only went into that draft with 5 picks, and they ended up having 10 that year. So, Ian Cunningham, if you want to slice through it, gave away a formula of what the Falcons are looking to do heading into this draft season. They're looking to trade down, which is something that we really didn't see a whole lot the Falcons do in the Terry Fontenot era. Matter of fact, the Falcons became very notorious for trading up during the Terry Fontenot era. And, it definitely sounds like we are in store for, what is going. Hey, am I back?
Yeah, you back. I thought it
Okay.
was mine.
Yeah, no, it was me. But what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on,
Hey,
man?
just another day around these streets. Shoot.
Well, continue, man. I'll chime in. Go
Oh
ahead and
nah,
continue.
hey, because I mean listen. I'm not gonna show the press conference honestly, man. Because listen, if I could just tell you what I took away from it, and
Uh-huh.
what I can say I did take away from this is that Ian Cunningham clearly the philosophies that he's picked up throughout his tenure is absolutely going to, in Baltimore and Philadelphia and even in Chicago, it's going to shape how he governs as a GM.
Right.
And I mean, when you look at the track record of those organizations as well, if you look at how Chicago's been able to build up that team, mind you, remember the Bears traded the number 1 pick away to the Carolina Panthers a couple years ago. And that is what, obviously allowed the Panthers to get Bryce Young. But the Bears got a monster package in return. And through that, they were able to pick Caleb Williams with that number 1 pick that they acquired from Carolina that ended up being the number 1 pick. One of those first round picks. And they were able to get a lot of talent on that Bears roster. So even look at the work he's done recently, and even from guys that, obviously the Howie Rosemans and the Ozzie Newsomes, these guys that he's learned from, he's clearly been taking notes. And this is why this guy's been so coveted. And we should be very lucky that we were the ones that were finally able to get this guy. And he's going to have the chance to really lead along with Matt Ryan, obviously, and Kevin Stefanski. He's going to be able to be a large part of setting that vision and putting the roster together. But I really want your thoughts on the press conference.
Okay. First of all, when I was looking at the press conference, I wasn't really critiquing um I guess normal stuff. I was just reading the room, looking at who they had on the stage, who's in the audience, how the cameras were going around, um, watching Matt, just watching his body language, watching um Cunningham's body language and um just listening at them build him up. I kind of knew, where he came from, his journey. And I was reading that, and I'm saying all that to say this: I'm impressed with what I was looking for. Um, but one thing I did realize with them two guys sitting up there, this is a shakeup that this franchise has never seen before.
Oh no, and you can sense that.
Yeah,
You
this was a shakeup.
that's why I was even saying on the other show. This isn't so much of a sense of we're rebuilding. Now, Ian Cunningham also said something that is interesting. That obvious, and this is something that you expect. He said we're going to continue to add to the roster. This is, I think, an exact quote. The shelves aren't bare here in Atlanta, but we're always looking to add more. But see, I say that to say, in large part, a lot of the guys on the team, that are playing a lot of the players, that might stay the same. The rebuild came in the organization, the front office, and how business is carried out on that side. And listen,
Exactly.
that translates into what goes on the field at the end of the day because that makes the decisions about what goes on the field.
That kind of took me back to when I was, you know how I do. I get these stories from my corporate years. Anytime we got a management change in the department, the first thing that I wanted to know when we brought a new manager in was what experience did they have as far as what we did in our department. And why I would do that was because, if you had a guy that used to do that same job, then you couldn't just shoot him no lines and get away with it. And I'm saying that to say this. You got two football players that played at high levels, as far as their career took them. And now they're in the front office. So now the language is going to be different, the accountability is going to be different, the moves that are made are going to be different. I think that a lot of things that were being done by other regimes of the Falcon franchise in the past are are gone. This was a shakeup.
Oh
Trust me.
yeah, hey, let's be very clear about one thing. It ain't gonna be any of this. You come into the front office and it's all sissy giggling while no one knows what the fuck they're doing and they end up running around
Nah,
with,
bro.
like chickens with their heads cut off. Everyone's gonna have a role here and everyone is gonna know exactly what the hell they're supposed to do. And like you were talking about, you ain't gonna be able to say shit to Matt Ryan.
You're not.
Listen, I say, they're probably, do I think Matt Ryan is, gonna be involved on the field, literally like a coach? No. But if Matt Ryan has to go, listen, if Matt Ryan has to pull Michael Penix to the side when Michael Penix is slacking on something, I want to talk about that too. Because Aiden Cunningham and Matt Ryan did not commit to Michael Penix today like we thought they may have. But if Matt Ryan has to pull Michael Penix or, whoever the quarterback is to the side and say, hey, I played this position. I've been in your shoes. You can't bullshit with me. And, and, and then Ian, you
He's
get
not
a
gonna have to say.
yeah. And
They
then
already know.
it's the same thing with Ian Cunningham. You ain't gonna be able
Right.
to bullshit me because I've been a player. I may have not been a very good player, but I've been a player, and I know the game has changed. But I've seen this game change. See, it ain't like with and I'm not trying to disrespect Terry Fontenot. Terry Fontenot spent 20 years in one place under one guy. And when you do that, your thought process, you might think, because you have a lot of years it's grown, but if it's just under one guy, it really hasn't grown. It hasn't expanded. Ian Cunningham has seen it in multiple different places, has seen a lot of these things through, has seen a lot of successful team building through and how it's done in multiple different places. Man, in New Orleans, and we know this, they got, Sean Payton and Drew Brees saved that franchise. They scored, lightning. Essentially, almost it was a fluke. Drew Brees was declined by the Dolphins because he was coming off an injury, and Sean Payton, man, no one knew who Sean Payton was. They were essentially throwing bullets at the board, and they just so happened to hit bullseye twice. And you notice ever since those two left, they've been an absolute dumpster fire.
Yep.
This man comes from some of the most successful organizations this league has seen in the past 20 years. They've won Super Bowls. He's been a part of team building. Hell, we're seeing it with Chicago. And hell, in Chicago, we saw what it was with that team. They needed the right coach.
That was
And
a
once
sweet build there.
and once they got their coach, they got on track.
And in Eon, well, I keep saying his name wrong. I'm calling him Cunningham.
Ian.
He Ian. Okay, Ian. Okay. He's even been on the back end. Didn't he like audition for the NFL as far as coming in
He was actually an
with
undrafted
Kansas
free
City?
agent by Kansas City.
Okay.
But see, that same year, by the end of that same year, he was already working for the Ravens.
Okay. So now let's just take that little piece of it. So he's went through the even that process of being an undrafted free agent coming
And
out of
and
college.
and being cut.
And that's right. So he's got all of this stuff on his resume. You got a guy that played at a high level with Matt Ryan. You got another guy that has some pedigree in his family. If I'm not correct, is his dad played football also, right?
Who?
Cunningham.
His dad, actually, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he played football or not. He was actually on, he was like the vice president of marketing for when the Olympics were here back in the day.
Okay. Okay. But see what kind of um what they're bringing into this front office. Like I said, you can't as far as the football part, you can't fool these guys, man. And I saw how they were talking on the podium, man. This was a whole different even with Stefanski, it was a totally different type of vibe in the room.
It was a,
You talking
yeah.
two football players sitting at the table, at the podium, or whatever you want to call it, um, and talking football and talking about what they want to do from a player's perspective. At the same time, yeah, we in the office, whatever. And if they don't think that these two guys are not going to be um, at the practices, standing back watching, we got another thing coming. If you think that they're not going to be out of there, it's in the blood, especially Matt Ryan. it's in his blood, man. It's in his blood, man. He's gonna go out there and he's
Hey,
gonna he's gonna give positive input at when needed. And if it's some negative input in it, he gonna have to do that too. He probably do it not in front of the camera, but he'll do it when it's time to do it.
hey, that's why he took this role to begin with. That's why he took it to begin with. Because it's in his blood and the Atlanta Falcons are in his blood. And it ain't just that too. You do realize that these two, they're going to be sitting next to each other in that suite during the games.
Yes, sir. Talking that football talk.
Yeah.
Cause they
It,
looking at the game because they know what's going on.
because hey, we and you know why I bring that up. We remember that one shot from last season, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Where I mean, it was just you had one guy, worried for his life about keeping his job. One buffoon who, I mean, but he knew he bucked the system again, and then you just got Mr. Blank over here caring about the books. If that setup remains the same and Matt Ryan is in that middle seat and next to Aiden Cunningham, they're going to be talking. It's just going to be like in the stands with you and me. Okay, here's what we need to do. And then when it doesn't go their way, they gonna already know what to talk about on Monday.
Yeah, it's gonna be, like I said, this is a shakeup. This franchise has never seen this type of shakeup, man.
And here's the funny thing too. This is all these guys' priorities are. All their priorities are is football.
Yeah. Cause I don't, Matt Ryan, Matt Ryan, he don't want to be a head coach. He ain't looking at that. You got
Mm-mm.
two football guys that are not trying to coach, so they're pretty much all in, man.
Yeah.
At this point.
Matt Ryan don't want to be, but I'll tell you what Matt Ryan doesn't want to be doing. Matt Ryan isn't going to be going over books. See, Greg Beatles and Arthur Blank are going to be sitting there during the games together, and they're going to be talking about profit. They're going to be talking about, that the halftime entertainment. You're going to have Ian Cunningham and Matt Ryan sitting those other two seats next to each other, and they're going to be chopping it up about football. So there's no mixing of priorities.
No.
Everyone has their specialty.
One of the things that I picked up. Here's a couple of phrases, things that Cunningham said, and the one that really stuck with me was when he talked about it. Him going to college, playing football, and excuse me, he playing college football, and but he wasn't a very good player. He said I wasn't that good,
Yeah.
and when he said that, I was like, oh. So he's even holding himself accountable for what he's doing to say that in front of everybody. Because he
Because
didn't have to say that.
oh no, he damn. But listen,
He could have
if
just said, "Well,
it,
I tried it, and I moved on." He
hey,
said, "I played for college football, and I wasn't that good." Okay, I'm like, wow. So if he don't have no problem with telling us
that
on
he
the on the
sucked, then
what you
then
think he gonna do behind the scenes with a guy that's just not cutting it when it comes to, hey, I think I don't know if we need to keep this guy, or
hey,
he talked about what we're going to pay. He wants a $30 million contract. Nah, we ain't gonna do that.
oh I
And
know,
this is why. This
hey,
is why we're not gonna do it.
hey, I see what you're doing.
Right.
And hey, we gonna talk about that because I know who you're
Right.
talking about.
Right. Hey, man. Trying to tell you. But I just use that number though. But
Okay.
I'm telling you, man, I mean, it's just a different ball game. It's just a different set of eyes, and those guys gonna have to wake up, and there are gonna be some moves made to clean these books up, not playing with contracts and all of that. It's gonna be some players that are not available, that haven't been available, that haven't met up to what their contracts are supposed to be, and it's gonna be some moves made now. And
Oh,
it's gonna be some. It might be some guys that we like. Wow, we didn't think they was gonna do that. I'm telling you,
oh yeah.
but
It it could happen to one or two guys on this roster. Yeah. Hey, but and I want to actually name those two guys in a moment. And see,
okay,
I'm gonna do several live streams coming up here in the next couple weeks where we talk about the off season. But man, just like we were talking about with accountability, imagine it being a Hard Knocks episode. Just imagine. Aiden Cunningham brings you into the office. And you're an undrafted free agent, or you've been on the bubble for a couple years. You're able to stick around under the former regime, but now that it's a new sheriff in town, and then you just come into the office. He says, I'm gonna make it short and sweet for you. We appreciate you having you around, but we're gonna have to let you go.
yeah. I mean, and it's just because of what they're trying to set up. Um, for this, for what they're trying to put together for the what we got. I'm telling you, man, I see it. I keep saying, I'm saying it. This is the biggest shakeup
But
that this
hey,
franchise has ever had.
are you ready for the two guys I think could get that treatment that some people might be in their feelings about, and it might be unpopular. They're fan favorites, but these two guys, I think that it could happen. It could. I'm not saying it will, but it might.
All right, now
It could happen. Actually, there's I'll say three. The first one's Darnell Mooney. Okay,
okay,
he's the first one that and matter of fact, I was looking at it. If the Falcons cut Darnell Mooney as a post June 1st cut, they could save $10 million. Hey, listen, he's gone. He's
okay,
probably gone. The other two I know are really going to kind of get people talking. And I'm just saying it's possible. The first one's Jake Matthews. I think I was saying it on someone's stream. Might have been Georgia Texas boy. I don't think that it's a foregone conclusion Jake Matthews is here next year. I think there's a non-0% chance that Jake Matthews is not playing here next year. The
wow,
the other guy is Jesse Bates. He's got 1 year left on his contract, and even though he has been very, productive, and especially his first year, man, in my opinion, Jesse Bates' first year here is, I think, one of the greatest seasons we have ever had out of a defensive back for the Atlanta Falcons. But since then, it's kind of been a little bit of a decline, and Jesse Bates is starting to creep up there in age a little bit. Now, he could still be good for another few years, but last year, he still had some flash plays, but there were also a lot of circumstances throughout the entire season that Jesse Bates was an Achilles heel. That hell, Xavier Watts was playing better than Jesse Bates, and that's another reason too. You got Xavier Watts. Now, listen, I'm just saying, it just to throw some names out. Jesse Bates might be that other guy that a tough decision is made on that a lot of fans might not like.
yeah. But that's going to be a tough decision because
Oh yeah. Hey,
players that we have that's been playing, man, that was getting their opportunities. Um, a lot of them did well
yeah.
and has gave promise.
And and and, and if you ask me, I do think Bates. I think they're going to try to work with Jesse Bates. But once again, if he tries to get greedy and ask for a little, just like we were talking about with you know Drake London, who we're going to talk about, because I know that's 30 million. That's been the big point. If Jesse Bates goes and asks for to be the highest paid safety, there might be a tough decision made on him. And once again, you could definitely get a day two pick out of Jesse Bates. Definitely. You want to talk about that being right up Ian Cunningham's alley and what he's learned? Being able to, trade someone like that and get two premium picks? I would not be shocked if that happens. I just wouldn't. I would love for Jesse Bates to stay here. Would love for it to happen. But at the end of the day, this is a business, and there's going to be a tough decision made about at least one of those three guys that I know not a lot of people are going to like.
Well, he did say that he's big on he you could never have too many picks.
You could
So
never have too many picks. I said that at the top of
what
the
he said,
show.
man. Yeah, yeah.
And
So that's an indication of what may happen. What do you think about Pitts, man?
I think Pitts is another one. Now, here's another thing he said, though, about Pitts and why I think Pitts will be a priority. He said about Pitts that we are going to draft, we're going to develop, and we're going to retain. Tell me that, Kyle Pitts, that they essentially told us, yeah, keeping Kyle Pitts is going to be a priority.
Well, why did they sign? Why did they even put their hand on Joshua Simon?
Well, let me be honest with you about Simon, okay? Simon, and this is the offense that Kevin Stefanski runs. You're going to probably see three tight ends out there a lot of times.
Okay.
Joshua Simon is going to be that third tight end. At the end of the day, man, he's a project. He's got a lot of upside, but he's a project. Kyle Pitts is that guy that I would expect, even if it's under the franchise tag, Kyle Pitts will be back here next year.
Okay. So we can basically say goodbye to Felipe Franks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Even with the gadget plays, even with the special teams, that he kind of messed up it
Well,
toward the end. But
you know what? I really see. There's going to be a tough decision made about someone, but see, Pitts is such a premier player. They're going to want to keep him around, and he's one of our own.
okay,
And I go back to what he said. We're going to draft, we're going to develop, we're going to retain. That is something I'm going to, stick to them. I'm going to hold them by.
well, I don't know, man. It's just like I said, it was a shakeup, and a shakeup. You gotta, you don't know what's gonna come out of the bottom,
Mm-mm.
so you don't never know. So, and that's why some of the questions that people said, they tiptoed around. They wanted them to give them straight answers, but I'm like this. You know, sometimes it's not the time for you to give that straight answer. Sometimes you got to just keep something close to the vest, and do not, because see, both of these guys, Matt Ryan and Cunningham, they're learning a new position. They're learning a new job. So
Oh, hey,
you
especially,
can't.
especially Matt Ryan. Did you catch the part where Matt said Monday's going to be the first time I ever sit in a draft
Exactly.
meeting?
That's what I'm talking about. And for him to say that, see, these guys, man, they look, man, these guys are ball players, man. They understand. They understand that when you go back in the huddle, man, and you maybe screw the play up, and you be like, my bad, man. I got it. And it's what they're doing. This is the type of environment that they were in, man. You know, and they're not telling these guys what they are because they don't know. They don't know themselves. He don't, man. Matt don't know what kind of president he's gonna be right now. But he's gonna go in that room, man. He's gonna sit back. He's gonna pay attention. He's gonna listen. He may have some questions. He may have some input, and he's gonna learn. It's gonna be a journey for them guys. Look, they think they had it rough before. Oh, it's finna show enough get rough
Oh,
now.
oh, hey, but
It's finna
let
get
let me
tough.
tell you, Matt Ryan's tool, his secret tool is going to be through all this. At least probably this first off season, and even these first few off seasons. You know what it's going to be?
What's that?
What's his gut feeling?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
listen, your gut never lies to you,
Nah.
and especially Matt Ryan. I'm telling you, he's gonna go off what his gut tells him.
And he's got some lessons learned in his career that even from a management standpoint, it's going to make him a better manager. Just reflecting back on some things that he saw in the when he was in the NFL and when he was in the booth, the conversation that he had, and I'm gonna stand on saying that the connections that he got some connections now. So he's probably using all of those resources right now to get ready. And another thing I like what Cunningham said also. He said, you can't be afraid to make a decision, and then you may have to pivot from it. I like that because people these days and it kind of got us in this last regime. People are so you know pushed to be right the first time, never be wrong, and then when things start to unravel a little bit, you lose your composure, you make moves that you shouldn't make instead of like what Cunningham said, just pivot, man, just shift.
A good
You
example,
ain't,
uh, a good
go ahead.
example I can think of that is hiring two coordinators that had zero experience.
Okay. Okay,
I,
they did that. We get
I
that.
listen. I'm just throwing that out. That's the difference
Yeah,
between
yeah.
that regime and this regime. If you're not seeing it,
But the thing of it is, why would you get rid of your defensive coordinator and keep your offensive coordinator, who pretty much did the same thing?
hey, they thought they had an opportunity to grow with old Zach, but clearly that's why those guys aren't here anymore though.
Yeah. Why? And then as I think about it, man, even with the $180 million, and then you spin it back and get you a first round draft pick quarterback, and you know things happen the way they did. It just wasn't no way to recover, man. The only way you could have recovered was make it to the playoffs,
Yeah.
which was still a possibility that you would have been gone anyway.
Hey, yeah.
Yep, but that's then and just say, hey man, hey, yeah, I made that move over there. But again, he said you don't mortgage your future,
Oh yeah. Hey, Ian Cunningham said that you never mortgage your future.
mortgage your future
And
for
and
today.
and one thing about that they've all been saying, they've all been talking about an aligned vision. Man, doing a move like paying a dude $180 million and going and drafting a quarterback top 10, that's not an aligned vision.
Hey, if it would have worked, great.
Oh yeah.
But I think it still would have came back. I think it still would have came back to bite though. Anything short of a deep playoff run, I think it still would have came back to just bite. Later. And I said this earlier today. Um, this is not the first time that Mr. Blank has been in that type of environment where there was a lot of money involved, and he didn't get all of the truth. You paid a player $100 million, biggest contract probably for a quarterback at the time, and all you did was ask him a question, and you couldn't even get the truth. You know what I'm saying? So here we
And
go.
and in that process, Michael Vick also screwed himself because if he would have just told the truth, he would have never went to prison.
Nah, they probably would have been taken care of. To the point where it wouldn't have went as bad. It probably wouldn't have been federal charges. You know, but yeah, but all of that stuff. And people might disagree with that, but I still say that you live and learn. You know. And he probably found out that, that them guys shot him some bad lines, and he wrote them checks. And you know, Kirk getting hurt, Kirk telling the boys he talked to the stuff that they went with at the beginning, the little stuff that happened, and then everything else just started to snowball, man. So, you know, it's a blank didn't have a choice. He didn't have a choice, man. But and then I don't know who told him or where did that idea came from to get Kirk. I mean, no, to get Matt Ryan. I don't know who came up with that, but I never thought in a thousand years that would happen. You know, I never, but hey, it was a strong choice. I'm not gonna say it was the smartest choice or whatever, but it's real strong and it makes sense at this point.
Yeah, very bold.
Yeah.
But I mean, now let me ask you the question, okay?
All right.
It said we got all our guys as far as this front office goes. So now, what are you looking for the first major thing for them to do to be?
Um, I'm waiting to see, are we gonna get address the trenches in the free agency, or are we gonna go into the draft? Because what I'm hearing is the wide receiver room is gonna be addressed. So if with the limited drafts we got, are we gonna take that 45th pick? I think it's 45th or 42, whichever one it is.
48th, I
Are we,
think.
oh, it's 48? Okay. Okay, that makes that's worse. Are we gonna take that 48, our first pick, which is possibly 48, and draft a wide receiver?
Let let me tell you what they're going to do with that 48th pick. They're going to trade down. They they
So that okay,
they're
I
going
can
to
take
trade.
that.
They're going to trade down. Probably not a whole lot. They'll probably trade down somewhere in the 50s, but they're going to pick up like a pick on day 3 in the process.
Okay. So then what I'm thinking about in the free agents, see part of the season, they definitely need to address that.
Yeah, but well, I mean, they're
You
going to
know?
draft a it's either they're going to draft a wide receiver or they're going to draft a big nose tackle with their first pick. And my money is on a wide receiver at this point.
So then they need to have went in the free agency and picked up at least one. And then if you go in there in the later, you get a wide receiver, and then you pick up a tank in the later in the draft. That you're going to have to be a somewhat of a project. Then that's what they're going to need to do. I hate to see if they go to the draft looking for both of those players because we didn't do anything with the free agents that's coming out.
Well, they're going to do some stuff in free agency, but I'm telling you, they're not going to go crazy in free agency. This team is going to be, they're saying it, they're going to build through the draft. You might get one free agency signing, and that could be your wide receiver. But, or it could be that nose tackle. But they're going to build through the draft.
Mm, okay. Well, one thing about it, these guys know they have a nose for um, working with football players. So
Oh, yeah.
through their football play. So um, they're like Georgia Texas boys say, it is a new era. It is a new era, and we just gonna time's gonna tell, and I'm waiting to see what they're gonna do with some of these players that's been injured for seasons. what they're gonna do about those guys. Are they gonna? I don't know how it affects the roster or um. I'm not that deep into it, but I'm pretty sure there's some money involved in keeping those guys, connected to the Falcons,
Of course there is.
the Trices, the T1000s.
Well,
Uh,
now those guys, hey, Troy Anderson is gone. Trice, man, I don't know what's going on with Trice, and I don't know. I mean, you see, they may, see through with the early parts of camp with him, but once again, man, you're talking about third year, and you ain't played a snap of meaningful football yet. The
I
only
think
football you have played on this level has been essentially scrimmage level, and you got hurt there.
right. That's what I'm saying. So that's gonna be tough right there, man. Yeah, that's gonna be tough, man. Them guys they got some moves to make, man.
Yeah,
And they didn't even say nothing to Well, not that I saw. They didn't say nothing to Mr. Blank.
man, Mr. Blank was sent. Man, he had the pimp suit on again today.
Oh yeah.
On again. Man, Mr. Blank been too damn busy seducing people, for him to be able to say anything. Man, he already on to his next one. He already on to the next one. Hey, you want some sugar with this now, baby?
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting, man. I was feeling kind of tough a couple of weeks ago, man. I was like, man, what are we doing? What are we gonna do? Because I know what I got to do. And February is the first month to re up on your tickets, man.
Let me ask you something. When you paying?
Shoot, it probably start next week.
Oh, I thought you said it was starting this week.
Well, what's this? Well, I think it's like the second week of the month that I
Okay.
got mine coming out. Um, hey man, but I'm used to it, but it's just you know, um, it's just been a rough 8 years, man. As far as really, getting a lot of satisfaction out of this team. I always like to see them play, but just getting that satisfaction out of the games, man. Not just giving up games that we should win, but went to some good ones this year though. We went to have some good ones. We had Buffalo and the Rams. It was exciting.
Yeah, we won in Tampa. I mean, hey.
Yeah.
But see, and they even said that. This team, they beat the Bills, they beat the Rams, but then they lost to the Jets. And,
And
and,
that's all on coaching, bro.
and then it was spin. Well, how do you evaluate?
It's all on coaching, man. You can't, man. You mean to tell me that you as a coach, man, you lost focus that much? You allowed your team to lose focus that bad to where that you could, you even though Carolina, played deep, they played better than what we thought. You couldn't beat Carolina. You lost to the Jets. Miami brought the dude in here with a patch on his eye. Come on, man. I get it, but we can't. We can't continue
Hey,
to do this.
and that's why Aiden Cunningham even said a lot of these guys, and I don't know how true this is because still there's going to be tough decisions made. But he said it's a new slate. It's a new
Yeah,
slate.
got to be.
Even though it's kind of hard for it to be a new slate when you have tough decisions coming up, but they're going to still try to make it a new slate.
Well, now. My question is, what are we going to label this transition as? Of course, it's not a. We can't say it's a rebuild, can we?
N- uh,
Since we're
uh,
bringing in these
uh,
guys.
uh, of the roster, a total rebuild in terms of tearing it down. No, it's not that. I mean, it was a rebuild of the structure, but it ain't a rebuild necessarily of the team.
Okay, but suppose they do some major, like the names that you called.
That could fall under a retool, or it could be. I'm trying to think of another term. I'm really trying to think of another term. I don't know. I feel like it would fall somewhere, but I feel like it would fall more in the sense of a retool. But man, let's also be clear. The Atlanta Falcons started a rebuild after the 2020 season when they fired Dan Quinn and Thomas Mitroff. That rebuild ain't complete. So so if you really want to think about it, we're still in a rebuild. In my opinion, a NFL team's rebuild is not complete until they make the playoffs.
Okay, well then we definitely got an incomplete rebuild here.
Yeah. So much so as to we haven't had to tear it down, but we've had to, fire all the guys that were in charge of rebuilding, and we've had to bring a whole new crew in.
I
And
think I was a little skittish about the move that they made. I think, myself, I was like, man, we can't get rid of all these guys in the front office. Who we gonna bring in? You know, and how are we gonna move forward with these guys? So I was a little skittish myself. So, um, but what don't kill you make you stronger, as they say.
what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Hey,
Yep.
that that those are some wise words.
And hey man, I hope it works out for them guys, man. I hope they're able to make some strong moves. Um, I know Mr. Blank got a lot going on, but at the same time, I know he wants the Falcons to do well. But like I said earlier, a couple of weeks ago, I'm hoping that the Falcons have not been put on the back burner in his sports entertainment enterprise.
Well, here's how I would describe it. I think to him, he can't put all his attention on the Falcons. So in a way, they honestly are on the back burner, but he has put guys in charge that he trusts so much to carry out his wishes of what the Atlanta Falcons are. And Matt Ryan on the football side and Greg Beatles obviously handling the books.
Well, yeah, okay. You saying it that way, it don't sound as bad. So as I was saying it, yeah, back burner doesn't always necessarily mean um, that they're going to be neglected. I guess.
And let's be very clear, we ain't saying Arthur Blank can't come and watch these games. Richard McKay's a different story. We're not saying Arthur Blank, man. Arthur Blank is the landlord of the Benz. He don't own it outright, but he's the landlord of the building. So of course he's welcome in anytime. I mean he don't need to be welcome to go in the bitch. But still, at the end of the day, you have put football people in charge. There should be no meddling. None. And now, one of the things that still, look at the structure. Ian Cunningham and Kevin Stefanski report to Matt Ryan. And Matt Ryan is the one who reports to Arthur Blank. Matt Ryan and Arthur Blank have dinner every week. Probably have had dinner every week for 15 years now.
Okay.
So the communicate and see, that is where He trusts Matt Ryan because he's gotten to know him so well. And Matt has a lot of respect for Arthur, so he's not gonna lie to them. But he's gonna let Matt do that job because he's trusted him to do it.
Yeah, it's about to make a move like that. It had to be a lot of trust in that. Definitely had to be some trust in there because, like I said, it was a cold blooded move. A couple of cold blooded moves that they made.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting.
listen, it's gonna be interesting, and it's going. So see, that's why I say probably I'm gonna still try to go live at least once or twice a week, and if we have breaking news, which I think we're kind of winding down on that, but at this point, man, even if we do have breaking news, I'll try to come on and talk about it. But we got things coming up. Okay, we have conversations about how would you fix the Atlanta Falcons? What would you do with certain aspects of the Atlanta Falcons coming up? We got a conversation about Drake London coming up and some other guys. We got obviously we're going to start talking about draft prospects coming up. We're going to do live streams on that as well. So, that's just giving it to the audience, and make sure y'all like and subscribe and comment and share out. And it's still, listen, y'all want to come up, I'll keep it going, for a few more minutes. So come up, hit the link.
Hey man, they probably been looking at lives all day, boy.
Yeah, they've been looking at lives, man, for the past month,
Right.
non-stop reporting.
Yeah.
Shit.
So you know how that go. But yeah, man, I like like I said, I read the room, man. I wasn't even getting into critiquing the manner, how. I saw one person said in one chat to my Matt Ryan kept grabbing the microphone. He must be nervous. I was like, man, you looking at the wrong thing, but he can grab the mic all he want.
Hey, he's a man. He's a man with the microphone. He's a president.
Yep. Yeah, I was like, okay, he can grab it all they want. I don't care. I ain't
Hey,
getting into that.
shit. You know how much presidents love microphones nowadays.
Right.
Yeah. But hey,
But yeah, man.
y'all hit the link if y'all want to come up and talk about this.
Come on, fans. I'm not a content creator. I'm just a fan that like to when Dirty Bird fly through, drop the link. Hey man, I'm coming in and talk some Falcon football. No opinion is a bad opinion.
No, hey, we might challenge you,
Oh yeah.
but
Well, I mean,
but you got to.
I mean, if it's like, if they come and say, man, we, you know, we got to trade Bijan and get two first round draft picks.
Now, see, those are
Blah.
bad. Hey, those are bad opinions. Now, hey, most opinions aren't bad opinions. We'll put it that
Yeah.
way. You come
Some
on
just,
here and say some really
some.
stupid shit, then yeah, we might have to just get you up out of here.
Well, I'm just saying something like that. I'll be like, pray tell, why would you think what would we do with two first round picks after we lose Bijan? What we gonna do? Stay with Tyler? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had to fire back at him, or whoever it is. I'd be like, oh, so we gonna get rid of Bijan for two first round picks, and then we're just gonna keep Tyler, and we okay. All right.
man. Now those are just people that I'll tell you something about those people. They do just try to get people talk about them. They just want attention. That's all it is.
Well, that's fine. Hey, but you know what I thought about, man? Um, because they said something about it being, they run, we're gonna run that ball, right? And I was thinking about that, and I was like, I remember, like Bijan, man, he's a juke man, he got the moves, um, and he done well. But our backfield outside of when Tyler comes in the game, our running backs these days are not, their reputation is not being a tough, bruising backfield.
And let me tell you something, okay? When you have someone like and when you have someone like Bijan,
Right,
that complimentary running back, it's gotta be someone known for being a tough bruiser. And that's
right,
why, especially if Algier is now, once again, the emphasis was we're gonna draft, we're gonna develop, we're going to retain. So, does that mean maybe the Falcons are going to be able to, keep Tyler Algier? I don't know. I don't know if we're keeping him or not. I'd still probably say no because I think Tyler somewhere is going to get that opportunity or he's going to get that money that we're just not willing to pay in large part because Bijan is one of the big contracts that is coming up. But the thing is, and the key to everything I think is when you look at the style Bijan plays, man, that could easily set up for, a running back to come in. And we've seen it even with Tyler. A bruiser running back that's just gonna run you down to come in and close a game out. Man, when you look at a lot of these running backs we've had, uh it ain't been that.
right. And and even if they do, let's say he gets that contract or whatever and he moves. I would like for them to at least talk to Chubb and see what he got going on. Because I think he would kind of give us the same game as Algier been giving us.
The only concern about Chubb is I don't know how much, his knees, how much of a beating he really has left to take. Normally, those types of running backs, you like to find them young, use them for a couple of years. Hey, it's just like with someone out on the street, and you already know what I'm talking about. You want to find them when they're fresh, you use them up, and then you let them go when they're all rotty and smelly and stuff like that.
But what about you give him a 1 or 2 year contract, man?
Tyler, well, see
No,
at
no,
the
no, Chubb.
oh Chubb, well I mean sure with
Yeah,
Chubb, yeah, a 1 year deal on the cheap end. I mean that's one thing because you ain't taking much of a risk. That is probably the equivalent to paying a young even if it's an undrafted one, a young undrafted running back. I mean shoot, how many of those guys do you see come in and I mean no maybe they're not starter material, but they can play a role and and see as long as Bijan's able to stay healthy, that's all you really need out of that other running back. Is mainly for him to be able to just take advantage and when necessary, when Bijan just needs some moments to, recuperate, and really what's the word I'm looking for? When Bijan needs to just, recuperate and still, God, I can't think of the
we
word.
call it get a breather.
Get a breather essentially.
Right.
Yeah. That is what you're looking for. But see, you have to have someone that's kind of just that they play differently than Bijan. That's where Algier's been a nice compliment. Man, Algier can't do all the twitchy stuff that Bijan does. He can't make you look like an idiot.
Yeah, but
Man,
he's gonna take you to pound town,
hey,
so to
he,
speak.
he, he ain't gonna make you moving like an idiot. He's gonna have you feeling like an idiot.
Exactly. Exactly. So, that's going to be one of the big things, just to retain um the as much of you know the productive part of our team as possible. Even with the contracts that's going to be coming up or whatever. I would hope that they would be able to um not lose a whole lot of because they got to build a wide receiver room up. And I've heard people don't want Seals to stay, but I want him to stay. I want him to have a job with us for his size, his route running, his hands. He's a little raw, even though he's been in the league, but I would like to see him stay on the team. But I probably won't. I may not get my wish because we need a burner. We need a guy that can take the top off the beans.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
You just need a fast sucker. That's all.
man, we need one running. Look, I ain't talking about no 4-3-5. I'm talking about 4-2-5.
Shit. Yeah.
Man, I need a Taylor Gabriel out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, matter of fact, I want to take a look. Um, there's someone who I was looking at, and he could be a free agent, or see, I don't think he's gonna be a free agent though. Was he? Okay, he might. He might be actually. Uh, hey, I need to look this up. Alright, he ain't. If you talk about 4-2-5, that's pretty hard to come across. But there is someone in Cleveland who's an undrafted free agent. I don't know what his contract situation looks like, but what do you think about Isaiah Bond?
I've heard that name. Um,
Hey, I'm
yeah,
an
I've heard that
Alabama
name.
fan, and
Okay.
Isaiah Bond, everyone knows the big play he made, the Hail Mary Bryce threw to him a number of years ago in the Iron Bowl. But I'm telling you, this dude, he ain't a 4-2-5, but he's fast, and he could be that, top off the defense guy. But that's just one potential suggestion. That's just one. I go and once again, I'm gonna go back to Olamide Zacchaeus. Now, Zacchaeus, I feel like would be better as a role player, but you're talking about take the top off the defense guy. Who is Matt Ryan's longest touchdown pass to? Over the top.
Moni. No, who you said? Say it again. I'm kind of reading.
Who who
Say it-
who who was Matt Ryan's longest touchdown pass of his career to?
Oh,
Over the top.
OZ. OZ. I want him, but I've been shot down on that one. I want him. I want him back. Zacchaeus. I want him. Put him
Yeah.
in the slot. Put him in the slot. He's tough. He's tough.
And he can take the top off the defense.
And he can take the top off the defense, given given the opportunity. But see, if we bring him, look, with that speed and how he run his routes, they're gonna have to pay attention.
Oh yeah.
So your boy Isaiah Bond said he's faster than um Xavier Worthy.
I don't know if he's faster than Worthy. Shoot.
Yeah, man. Um Oz, man, I like that guy, man. A lot of times, man, we get caught up in, you know, um trying to move on to the next best thing or the new thing. You got some players out there that just that just need to get in the best scheme.
Hey. Yeah. We see it a lot with quarterbacks now. Sometimes it ain't the quarterbacks actually so bad. It's just organizations don't do right by them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and that's why you have to kind of be patient, man, and um do a total evaluation before you let these players go, because somebody pick them up and they make stars out of it. What's the guy we had? As soon as they was able to pick him up, they picked him up. Um, they just picked him up.
Who you talking about?
Wide receiver we had on the practice squad, they came and got him.
Nash?
Yeah, yeah, Nick Nash. Yep.
I think what? Yeah, that was Washington who got him.
Yeah, and you gotta, you know what? You gotta look at that type of scouting, man.
Oh yeah.
For them to come and get this guy off practice squad, where they really didn't see him play, this year. So what made them come get Nick Nash?
They saw something in him.
Right. But I'm just saying, um, with that being said, how did he even come on their radar? You know, it just, it just amazes me how some teams and some coaches, they go and pick these players up, especially with Belichick. Man, Belichick was a monster. He was a master of doing that, going to pick up um these players that you know nothing about,
Oh
and
yeah.
then they
Hey,
become
Bill.
stars.
Hey, he did that. He did that with Julian Edelman. He did that with Chris Hogan. He did that with so many wide receivers.
Right.
Uh, I'm trying to think. Who's another one that he did that with? Wes Welker.
Yeah. Nobody knew this guy wasn't West a quarterback at one time.
I think so. Yeah.
Right. And Belichick brings him in and say, "Hey, man, you gonna play wide receiver for me." That's
And
crazy,
after
man.
Randy Moss left, he turned into Tom Brady's number one option.
Exactly. With more success. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and then he went to Denver, and Peyton Manning was able to do something with him too.
Oh yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I hope, and that's another aspect of the Falcons that I hope that we get better on. Medical staff, the scouting department, the interior stuff that really makes the teams, you know, show up on Sundays. On game days, man. They put together teams, man, and we bring them in, and this fear. People don't want to come to Atlanta. I want teams just don't want to come to Atlanta. Yep, that's what I want. Don't circle our game on your calendar, because you think we're gonna find a way to give it up.
Hey, that's what we're trying to change.
Exactly. Got guys circle. Oh yeah, we got the NFC South this season.
Hey
Yep.
man, you want to hear a stat?
Yes, sir.
You Do you know that this is the second straight year that both teams have made the Super Bowl have played the entire NFC South?
There you go. I just said it. Yeah, yeah, man. We got NFC South boys. Shoot, we're gonna get at least 2 wins out of that one. Might get 3.
Hey,
That's interesting though.
oh yeah.
Going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But look, man, you've been asking me a lot of questions, man. But how you feeling, man? How you
Man,
as a fan?
I mean, right now, listen, I feel optimistic. I feel good so far, but I'm still kind of at the point where, so many times I've put stock into this is going to work, this is going to work, and I really think this could work, okay? I think this could work. But I'm at the point where overall I like the hires for the most part. I don't got anything to complain about. But listen, at the same time, if you're complaining about a hire from the get go, then I mean you're man, if you're starting off on the wrong foot, then man, you have zero chance. At the end of the day with me, I need to see what they do, and then of course I need to see what the team looks like on the field. And that's still months away. So right now, I'm just trying to think of it even killed. But I listen, I've been very vocal out of all these hires. This Cunningham one excites me the most.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta say, man, that I like what I saw today. I like the vibes that I got from it. So as far as how to handle this off season by it being, I call it a shakeup. What are your advice to the fan base, content creators, media, all of the above? What is your advice to them for the off season up to
Hey,
um
have
the
your
53 pick?
still have your notifications ready, and don't bite off more than you can chew in terms of what you say. And I'm gonna try to follow that advice too.
Right.
And I ain't saying it to you because I don't got to worry about you. If you're gonna get up on these panels or you're gonna hit and you're gonna go live, don't say stupid shit. Please don't.
Hey man.
So, but hey,
But
I
yeah,
was
man, it's like go ahead.
yeah, hey, I was just getting ready to say because I wasn't planning on being on too long tonight, and I'm getting ready to, wrap it up. So
Okay.
yeah, hey, but we can still talk afterwards. But I was getting ready to just wrap it up, man, and appreciate y'all for watching, and remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share out. You got anything to say?
Well, the only other thing that I gotta say, and I've been saying it all day, um, the GM and Matt Ryan pretty much he's new to this. The GM came up there, to be introduced to the fans and the Falcons, did the live press conference and allowed us to be in the chat and all of that. And I seen some things in the chat that I didn't necessarily agree with what was said. Um, So, if they're listening, if they want to troll me or whatever, I'm 330. I'm not a content creator. I don't have a page or whatever, but I'm challenging, all of the people that even when you come to these platforms, even you know, if you're not a real fan or, or you just want to troll or whatever, just be respectful. Don't make the Falcons look bad on the freaking um presser. You don't know who is watching it. And then people wonder why, other than us being just a difficult franchise, you wonder why people just talk crazy to us in our face because they see that's what we're doing. You know, they're gonna follow our lead. So there's time for everything. And the whole world's watching the presser, and then you got people in there saying um, remarks that were just, in my opinion, you know, inappropriate and just unnecessary. And I know people say they can say what they want to say, but everything comes at a cost. Whether you think it's free or not, it costs you. So, let's just work on being better fans. Let's be more supportive, and just keep the personal thoughts and derogatory thoughts, just keep them to yourself. But see, it's kind of hard for me to say that. And you got content creators that are doing the same thing
Uh,
against the teams
and let,
that they say they are fans
let
of.
let me end it off on this, okay?
All right.
All I'm gonna say in response is if you think what OG3 dirty, you think in any way he's talking about you, then all I'm gonna say is just think,
Hit dog, holler, man.
just think. Hey, we'll see y'all next time.